Hello there. Hope you're having a great day today. Welcome to day 31 of our 50-day spoken English course. Absolutely free on YouTube. Today we are looking at plural nouns. All right? The topic for today is plural power, the hidden rules of English nouns. How nice. Great. Let's get started then. We are going to understand why different patterns exist and how to use them confidently, and how English plurals follow sound patterns, spelling patterns, and meaning patterns altogether. Now, once you see these groups clearly, guys, the system feels much easier. So let's get started. Most nouns simply add an S. Why? Because you can look at these words on the screen. That is book. Now, book ends with the alphabet K, and there is no any other pronunciation that is pretty much blocking the alphabet K, right? When you look at book, it is book and it's ending with a K. So pretty much there is it's a very simple concept to understand. Whenever the words, all right, whenever the words end with simple pronunciations that like for example in pen, in the word pen, you're just ending the word with n sound. Car is ending with a r sound, and there is no blockage when you're kind of looking at pronouncing these words right on your screen. So what happens? You're just going to go ahead and simply add an S as your choice of alphabet. To do what? To change them into a plural form. Correct? This is the standard plural pattern. If the word ends in a regular sound, all right, as it is, and does not really or you're not kind of feeling a sense of difficulty when you're pronouncing, you just have to go ahead and add an S to the word to transform it into a plural word. Okay, for example, book, books, chair, chairs, teacher, teachers. So here what I want you to do is pause the video, okay, and read all the words aloud. Okay, read all the words aloud. As you can see, these are singular words, okay, and these are their plural forms. Same thing with the second column as well, okay. These are singular words and these are the plural forms. You can go ahead and read them aloud in order for you to understand how exactly the pronunciation and the sound also helps a lot when you're looking at transforming a singular form of word to a plural form. That's it. So, no change in pronunciation difficulty. So, there is no need of adding extra letters to the sound, to the words in order to change them into plural format. So, just remember that, okay? Now, let's look at words ending in S, sh, ch, x, and z sounds. What did I say? Let's look at another interesting topic here. How do we add es to the words, and where exactly we need to add es in order to change them into their plural sides. So there are certain words in English obviously that ends with s, they ends with sound, and this is sh sound, this is the ch sound, x and z sounds. Now, when you encounter these particular alphabets in in reference to the words, and you have to change them into a plural form, then you just have to go ahead and add es. Simple, isn't it? These words already end in a strong sound, guys. Adding just s would be difficult to pronounce them. So we are not going to add s here. You have to memorize these letters, these alphabets. You have to memorize them. Whenever you look at a noun that ends with these alphabets, then you just have to go ahead and add your es. Okay, I'm just going to read all these words out to you. That is bus, buses, class, classes, box. See the k sound, okay, the x sound. So box, boxes, branch, ch sound. So branches, buzz, buzzes. All right, dish, the sh sound. So dishes, wish, the sh sound. So wishes, watch, ch sound. So the watches, tax, sound, the x, This is the sound that we're dealing with now. Taxes. Great. Church. Ch sound, right? Ch sound. So es. Churches. Plural form. Great. Amazing. Let's give a smiley here. Let's see whether I get a perfect circle. Yes, absolutely. Circle is the only one apparently I get perfectly drawn. So yeah, a smiley is pretty happy. So I pretty much kind of gave my best to make you guys understand where you add an es. All right, let's move on. Now, the third point for today that I pretty much want you to understand is nouns ending with a, what is this? O. Yes, noun and nouns that pretty much end with an O. How do you make them plural now? Now, this group has two patterns, guys. Some words take the es, like hero. Why? Because a consonant is seen followed by an O. All right. So consonant, there is this consonant, and it is then you can see there is an O. So hero, heroes. Potato, potatoes. Tomato, tomatoes. Echo, echoes. Volcano, volcanoes. Mosquito, mosquitoes. Why? Because you can see there's a consonant. These are not vowels. R is a consonant, T is a consonant, T is a consonant, H is a consonant, N is a consonant, T is a consonant. So whenever you see consonants, what happens? And it ends with an O. A consonant is there plus an O, you add an ES to make them plural. Quickly moving on to another pattern, that is wherever you see vowels, that is I, E, I, O. What are the vowels, guys? A, okay, E, I, O. I told you I get only the circles correct. O and U, right? So these are the vowels. Now, what am I saying? Whenever there is an vowel that is again, followed by an O, then you just add S. You do not add ES. When is ES added? When you have a consonant. Keep that in mind. Okay? When is ES added? When you have a consonant, guys, followed by the O, then you add ES. But when you have a vowel here, what happens? That is followed by an O, then you add only S. Okay, got it? Great. Now, let's just go ahead and kind of understand the fourth point for today. Again, a very important, I can say a bullet point to keep in mind is, now there are certain words in English that ends in Y. Okay, certain words that end in a Y. Now, what are these words? They are regular words, all right, but their singular forms take a whole new transformation. How? How? Look at the screen here. See, this particular word, baby. Now, baby, how is baby formed? B-A-B-Y. What is B? B is a consonant. See, consonant plus Y. Whenever you see a word that, if Y comes after a consonant, the spelling changes overall, totally. That is, Y changes to IES. Baby, babies. Same thing with city. T is a consonant plus Y. So here the rule is that we have to change this particular Y to IES. Lady, D is a consonant plus Y. So IES. Change this. Kind of delete the whole Y and substitute it with IES. Story, R is a consonant plus Y. So IES. Country, again R is a consonant, Y, IES. Army, M is a consonant again, Y. So armies. All right, great. Now, the next rule is when you look at this word, boy, what do you notice? What do you notice, guys? Come on, come on. Pause the video. Pause the video here. Pause the video. Please pause the video here. And don't go ahead and read anything on the screen. I'm just asking you a question. What is the difference between this word army and this word boy? Okay, if you know the answer, well and good. However, I'll let you know is this particular word, that is a boy, has a vowel, then a Y. Okay, look at this. O, toy, O, key, E is a vowel, day, A is a vowel, monkey, again, E is a vowel. Then it's followed by Y, right? You can see here. All right. So what is happening here? We are not going to change Y, or we are not going to do anything to that letter Y. We are just going to add an S to make a plural form of these words. Got it? I think we are good. Okay. So what happens is overall this pattern keeps pronunciation natural and consistent altogether. Okay. So this is the rule I personally think is truly difficult to understand when there are learners at the basic level. Okay. But this is something that I really want you guys to know. Now, again, to give you a mini revision, whenever you see nouns ending in Y, okay, but there is a consonant plus a Y, you just have to go ahead and delete that Y and substitute it with IES. However, if there is a vowel plus Y, then you just have to add a S to it in order to make it a plural form of a word. Great. Now, there's another point that I want to kind of, focus on today. That is words ending in F or FE. Also very important. Very, very, very important. Truly important. Extremely important. All right. Great. So the singular words. Firstly, I want you to look at the singular words here. Leaf, knife, wife, life, wolf, shelf, thief. So, what am I pronouncing? What is my prominent pronunciation? My prominent pronunciation, or the word that is really popping out, is the F word, right? The F word, or the F pronunciation. All right. So, what am I trying to wrap my head around also is when we are looking at words ending in F and FE, some change to VES and some don't. And how does that happen? Let's look at the rules for that understanding. So, drop the F and FE. What do you mean by drop the F? Okay, drop in the sense, not like literally dropping the F. It is just go ahead and remove the F. Remove the F, remove the FE. Remove the FE, remove the FE, remove the F, delete the F, remove the F. Now, after removing these words or these alphabets, what are we going to do to make these same these words into plural form? What are we going to do? We are just going to add this new um combination of alphabets, that is VES, 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 VES. Okay. Now, a very important part that I want you to do after I read them aloud is you also have to do the same thing. Okay. Now, I'm just going to start reading. Please listen to this carefully. Along with keep your ears open in order to notice the difference of the sounds of these letters. All right? Yes, it starts now. Leaf, leaves. Knife, knives. Wife, wives. Life, lives. Wolf, wolves. Shelf, shelves. Thief, thieves. Okay? So, these are something that we really need to understand, that when words are ending with F and FE, we have to drop them and add VES instead of F and FE to make them plural. All right? Great. Now, I also want you to understand there are certain exceptions in the same the F rules, but I'm going to talk about that a little later. Before that, I just want you to look at the screen here. This says do not drop the F if it occurs two times around. What do you mean by that? I just told you that drop the F's. I told you to remove the F's, right? Wherever you see words ending with them. However, there are certain pointers that we need to kind of remember. When an F, this word, all right, this alphabet, when it occurs two times, we shouldn't do anything. We just have to add an S to make them plural. Cliff, cliffs. Puff, puffs. Sniff, sniffs. Right? I hope I'm clear. Now, I just told you about exceptions, right? Exceptions are pretty much exactly like this image you can see. All right, all the wooden sticks are standing straight in a line. However, there is this one wooden stick which is not. It is an exception. Why? Because that is how these exceptions are and must be remembered individually. There is nothing we can do about this. All right. As I told you, when a word has an F, I told you to drop it. I told you to do what? I told you to drop it. But in case of roof, you can't drop it. You have to add an S along with the F. You have to remember that. Same thing, or the same drill with this word chief is chiefs. Belief, beliefs. Chef, chefs, safe and safes. All right. Again, the same thing. Pause the video and read it aloud and try to pronounce them as they are on the screen. Great. The next topic that we are going to talk about is vowel change for irregular words. What do you mean by vowel change? As nothing, it's nothing big. It's just that, the vowels will change when they are in a singular form, and they are pretty much very different when they move on to their plural forms as well. So, when you look at man, what is the word here? A is in vowel, right? It changes to E when it takes on a plural form. So, man, men. Okay. Woman, women. Foot. These two alphabets, that is O and O, changes to what? E and E. All right. Foot, feet. Same thing with tooth, teeth. Goose, geese. Mouse, mice. Louse and lice. All right. I just want you to understand the pattern here. Just remember as it is. All right. There is a very big practice session that's coming up in the same lesson, that is today's day 31. So just wait for that. You will understand what I'm kind of, telling you, and you will be able to kind of do that practice exercise as well. Uh, in a very, very good manner, or it's just going to be very easy once you listen to me. All right. So just hold on. It's going to be a long session, but please stay on till the end of the session, please. Okay. Now, adding en. When you add en is when you look at words like child, the plural form is of a German descent, and we cannot change this at all. Okay, it's not childs. It's not childs. It is children. Now, when you look at ox, the plural form of an ox is oxen, where you are looking at adding en, and this is a special case. Again, a lot of memory is needed in order to keep this in mind. Child is not childs, it is children. Ox is not oxes, it is oxen. Okay. Now, the next point for today, or the next important topic for today, is same in singular and plural as well. What do you mean? Some forms don't change. The number is understood from the context itself. For example, if I say sheep, I am not going to add an S or an ES here. I'm just going to keep it as sheep. Deer is deer itself. Fish, fish. Series, series, like series on Netflix, okay? So series, series. Species, species. Salmon is salmon itself. So here I'm not going to add anything at all to make them sound plural, because this is the rule. The form does not change because the number is understood from the context or the word that you can see on the screen. Again, you need to pause and try to remember these words. Just to reinforce, please read them aloud. All right? Great. Now, this is another interesting fact here. I just truly love this. Okay, very important also to keep in mind. Is going to add this icon to show that is truly important. Okay. Some items are always treated as plurals because why? Why do you think? Can you just give it a thought? Only this part. Pause the video and give it a thought. Why do you think, why do you think that trousers, jeans, shorts, spectacles, scissors, pliers, binoculars, pajamas are all plural already? Why don't they have a singular form? Because they have two parts. Okay, we say these scissors, and we don't say this scissors, okay? Things like that. We don't pronounce these in singular format. We are always going to be using them in plural format or plurals itself, okay? Now, there are some words that look plural but are singular in nature. All right, this is another pretty important point, but not as important as this. However, we all know this already. All right, let's look at that. Okay, these words like mathematics, physics, news, and measles, they end in S, but represent one field or only one idea. So we say mathematics is difficult. All right, we are not looking at a single single plural singular kind of a word here. Mathematics itself has an S, but it is a singular form. All right, physics, a singular form, but it sounds plural. All right, news, the news is good. We don't say the new is good, right? We say the news is good. Okay, they look plural but they are singular in nature. Measles is a kind of a disease, so measles, mumps, all these are kind of they are names of diseases. However, they are kind of they look plural but they are singular in nature. Measles measles is contagious, right? I think I'm pretty clear here too. Now let's look at another interesting topic for today known as foreign plurals. And what are those? Oh my God. Nothing truly in order to go bonkers about. Let me just tell you, some words keep their original Latin or Greek plurals in place. They just don't allow them to kind of change. All right. I've just got a small table for you here. Look at this. Latin word, okay? In Latin, the origin is Latin. The ending, if it is A, it changes to AE. For example, larva changes to larvae. All right, this is AE, so it changes to AE. It is uh, origin is Latin, is derived from Latin. Now, again, another Latin word where the ending, if the ending of the word is US, all right, see, look at this fungus, it changes simply to I to give you a classical plural format. All right, fungi. What is this? How is this pronounced? Fungi. Okay, it's not fungi, it's fungi. Now, larva changes to larvae. All right. Now, if you look at this third word also, again from Latin existence, if the word ends with it takes on an a to to do what? To show the plural form. Like datum is data. Datum is singular. Data is classic plural. Now, this again, the fourth word is, these are rare words. However, I just want you to show the importance. Okay. Now, the fourth word I was talking about, if the ending of the word is ex, like index, okay, ex, like index, in order to change this into a plural form, you have to add ices, indices, indices, not indexes or datums or funguses or larvas. This is not something that we do when words are of foreign descent. Okay, great. There is a Greek rule where the words, if they end with is, the plural form takes the es combination. Theses, thesis. Okay, criterion, criteria. If there is an on, it takes an a in order to change to the classic plural form. All right. So again, guys, this is something truly advanced. I've just bought this section all free for you. So just go ahead and practice this because that is what makes you perfect. And please remember, please go ahead and do this on daily basis. Practice makes a man perfect, and I think man or a woman perfect. Please go ahead and do that. It's truly important. All right, great. Let's move on to the next section where we are going to be talking about meaning changes in plural. A very, very interesting topic. Okay, very interesting topic. let's kind of take a look at it. Now, a singular form. What this word? What is this word? Good. What is this word? Good. And this word is iron. What is this? Force. What is this? Air. Pretty easy, right? We know these words. We use them on daily basis as well. However, this is the singular form of these words. Now, if I add an S to this, what happens? The meaning changes. What happens? The meaning changes. Good is a quality, right? Good is a quality of a person or a thing or whatever it is. Now, what is goods? All right, is it a lot of quality? No, it is items for sale or products. Goods are items or products. Now, I say iron. Iron is a metal. We all know that iron is a metal, right? Now, if I say irons, what happens? It directly refers to chains, chains, those linked chains which forms like in order to tie big animals to keep them in cages and all those kind of chains. All right, the meaning changes here. Same thing with force. What is force? Force is wherein if I push or pull something, that's also known as a force. However, if I add an S to force, what happens? It changes. It totally is, it's transformed into a new word that is army, navy forces, all right? Forces like that. Now, air. This is a new word, guys. This is something pretty much new, and I think many people are not aware of, all right? Another meaning or a vocabulary based um theory here. You can just use it or you can just write it somewhere in your notepad or in your notebook as well. A new word that you have come across today. Air, we all know what air is. That is pretty much surrounding us, right? What is airs? Affected manners. All right, airs is nothing but affected manners. I'll let you know when I talk about these words being used in sentences. I'm going to use all these words in sentences and let you know how exactly they are different when they form sentences. Okay, quickly just let's move on to that now. Okay, goods. This word, item or products. The shop received new goods before the festival. The truck delivered fresh goods to the supermarket. Iron or chains. Look at this. Iron, when I add an S here, I'm trying to go and add an S here. Okay, yes. When I add an S here, it becomes irons, right? So irons is nothing but chains. The prisoner was kept in irons for many days. In old times, criminals were often put in irons. Okay, yes. The third word is forces or an army. So what are the sentences here? The country sent its forces to protect their border. The forces arrived quickly during an emergency. Okay? All right. Now, airs is affected manners or showing false importance. She gives herself airs after getting a promotion. Do not put on airs, just be normal. So now you understood what exactly happens to some singular words when you kind of transform them into plurals by adding s. The meaning changes. What happens? The meaning changes in their plural form. Okay, great. Now let's look at another section wherein we are talking about two plurals but different meanings. All right, two plurals but different meanings. Here we are kind of going to kind of get the key idea of understanding how can one word have two meanings. That's it. So brother, if I add an s, it is brothers, right? All right, directly shows an inclusion of family. However, the same word brother changed into en. If I add an en after instead of er, all right, I just after th, if I add en, it becomes brethren, in the sense it is a religious group. Now cloth, if I add an s, is something which means pieces of many pieces of cloths, like small pieces of fabric. However, if I add es to this same word, it becomes garments, in the sense stitch stitched garments or stitched clothes. All right. Same thing with dye. All right. And if I add a es, all right, to this, look at this. This is an extra word. You really don't have to kind of, give your heed here, because this is not something that was supposed to be here. So that's the reason I just scratched it out. I'm scratching this out, guys. So let's go to this. Die, if I add an S, it becomes stamps for coining. All right. This is something that I want you to truly again remember, that sometimes plural verbs or plural words, not verbs, plural words can have different meanings altogether. Great. Now, just to give you a key idea, plural forms are not random. They follow sound rules, spelling patterns, all right, and meaning differences also. Now, when you see which group a word belongs to, choosing the plural becomes much easier. I've just got you a practice session here. These are known as guided practice sessions within our lessons itself, wherein I just want you to pause the video, go ahead and answer all these on your own, guys, on your own. And why do you think am I saying on your own? Obviously, there is only one fact that you need to keep in mind is when you do things on your own, you will understand the concept at a better level. Okay, your level of understanding is actually enhanced, and you will be able to relate with the concept, and you will be able to understand how you kind of have to use these words when you conversate. Great. So part 2. Part 1 deals with adding s and es. Part 2 is words ending in o. I already kind of spoke about this, right? Yes. Now, words ending in y. I told you when you have to delete the y, and when you kind of have to just add an s to it, right? I told you when you have to do that. All right. If you were not clear with the concept, you might have to go back into the video and again listen to the same thing around. Great. Words ending in F and FE. Please do this. All right. Please do this. Remember another thing. After doing all this, after you kind of finish this exercise, you have to do another important thing, and that is read them aloud, because it's very, very important to deal with your pronunciations also. All right. Now, I told you there is something known as vowel change, wherein a man changes to men in order to change it into the plural form. I also spoke about that. You're kind of going to do the same thing here again. All right. Great. Same in singular and plural form. Sheep remains the same. Again, same, 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 same. All right. This is again incorrect. So I'm just scratching this out. Okay, delete this, only this fourth word, and you can go ahead and practice it on your own. Seventh part, only plural nouns. Where dash my dash are new. So basically you're just going to either add these words, or you're just going to kind of go ahead and look for words that can be used in that can be just used in pairs, like two pairs. All right. And fill these blanks up. Great. Now look plural but are singular. Mathematics is easy. News dash good today. Physics dash difficult. Okay. You've got some options here. You can easily kind of substitute them in your empty blanks. Foreign rules or foreign plurals. Index is changed to, I spoke about it. Crisis is changed to, radius is changed to, phenomenon is changed to, analysis is changed to. Their answers are here. You can go ahead and kind of get back into the video. I just spoke about this part, right? Where it is A, it takes an AE, US takes an I, all right? Changes to A in order to get to that classic plural format. Changes to ICES. IS changes to ES, and ON changes to A. All right, great. Now let's go ahead and see what else do we have to do. Yes, here. Meaning changes in plural. All right, meaning changes. The shop sells electronic good or goods. So that you have to fill in the blanks here. The same drill. All right. Now sentence correction, a very interesting section. Two childs are playing. Absolutely incorrect. Go ahead and correct that, please. She bought many furnitures. No. The informations are correct. Absolutely not correct. Three women's came. No. Change it. All right. He gave good advices. All right. You have to kind of go ahead and correct these sentences, guys, so that you understand what I'm talking about. You have to do this. It's very important. Now, make plural sentences on your own using mice, children, heroes, leaves, and scissors. Make sentences. Make sentences and make sure that you're writing them somewhere. Just don't make sentences just by thinking about them. Please don't do that. I want you to make sentences and write them down and pronounce them as well. Also, another trick I kind of shared with you. I don't remember in which day. I think it was somewhere when we were starting the sessions or these lessons. So there I told you that you have to record yourself when you are you're looking at pronunciation. Just kind of go ahead and record yourself and then play those words aloud. You can use your phone as well so that you understand that where exactly you're going wrong. So today you saw something very important, guys. English is not random, all right? It has patterns, systems, and sometimes it also has logic. And when you learn those patterns the right way, uh, you know, the fluency becomes easier and not harder. Now, if this session helped you to see English more clearly, imagine what consistent guided training can do, guys. That's exactly what we build every day at GK Pro Spoken English course, okay? That is structured learning, speaking with confidence, and real life or real world English usage. If you're serious about improving your spoken English, now if you want to stop hesitating and if you want to sound natural at the same time, please visit our website now, explore our programs, and see how we train our learners step by step. Don't just attend these classes, please train your English. We would love to work with you and have a great day ahead. It was a beautiful session, guys. Thank you so much.